Game on, everyone! First map in the best of 3 series here, the HeroesHype Premier Series. We're in the semi-final right now, and we have Washed Up 2.0, also known as another Washed Up here in the tournament, going up against Team Russia. So the question is already popping up everywhere. It did before, it will again. What exactly is Washed Up 2.0? Where is Mene? Where's JPL? Oh my god, what's happening? Is everybody dying? And no, the reason is simple. This is a different series, a different organizer than Division S, which is run by Heroes Launch. This is HeroesHype, so the teams are not required to use the same lineups. They can play with whoever they want. In this case, we have a couple of elements from the Washed Up team playing together here. Well, to be fair, it's only HeroesHype, but still, they are running this as the tournament team. Mene, for example, is currently on a vacation, so right now we see Chris playing for them with his Pepica account. We have Masquerade and Banana H and Nick from Team Method in the HGC times. So yeah, it's definitely not the same Washed Up that people that watch the channel usually are used to when they're watching Division S, for example, but still, it's a pretty cool setup here. So they've been highly successful in the previous games that we actually checked out. Now we're having Team Russia go up against them. And I mean, the Russians are the Russians, right? So what can you say about them? These boys are aggressive. These guys, they love to play as kill-oriented as they possibly can, which is why this as a first map is already right down their alley. Probably because it's their map pick, as they have first, sorry, not first ban, but first pick, but went into the map choice instead. Hanzo banned out. Tracer also banned immediately. Only question that we have at this point is, for me personally, again, is it going to be hammer time? Because Hazo is going to look at the Sergeant if he has a chance for that. We have seen some interesting hammer counters actually from Washed Up, the Division S Washed Up, where they picked Gul'dan from Mene and he wrecked a hammer and completely ripped her a new one. There's the Alarak ban. And with that, we're still having quite a few heroes up that usually see banned out. I mean, Maiev, for example, and Nuburak is another one that we have banned quite a lot. So those two. Tyrande is still up as well, up for the taking against the Immortal. Could see a ban against Ana again, which is popping up these days a lot more often than previously. But yeah. Let's get ready to roll with our potential pick into... Hammer is banned, so much for that. And what does that give us as a first pick? Is it going to be maybe even Tyrande? Are we going to have some kind of Maiev setup here? Or what are we going to get for them? Actually, Chris has been playing Leoric a lot in the previous series, so he played Leo twice and found himself on the offlane here. And I would actually think that this is going to be, I guess, their MO again, but on Battlefield of Eternity in particular, on the offlane, you can play a lot more than that. There's Li Ming again. More and more we're seeing her as a first pick on this map. Chris actually going for her. So the swap round obviously is still going to kick in later. But there's a really good chance that we're having Chris on the hero and someone else taking over on the solo lane. Could be Hazops, for example. As he's been playing in the past already, quite a few of the solo laners. Has been playing Thrall, for example. Another one would be Rexa. But the Russians, what are we going to have from them? ETC and Ana. Alright, so again the ETC setup, which can then go onto the offlane. Seen this the entire time. Pick ETC early, be flexible. You can run him as a main tank and run him as an offlaner. And then you just adjust as the draft keeps coming together. And you always have an option to react to what your opponent does. There's a lot of globals, no problem. Put ETC on the offlane or even in the main tank position with stage dive and your Gucci. No interrupts on the other side. Perfect. Then let's go into the quick mosh pit. There's our Tyrande pick, and we have Muradin together with it too. Alright, Muradin is in. That's already a double stun combo to set the target for Li Ming, and then Chris can capitalize on that and just go straight ham and with a bit of a bullseye move. So there we go. And what comes down to the bans? Offlane, again, could be banned out here. When you're talking about the... I mean, you could still ban out Reyna, for example. But yeah, good idea. Actually, totally slipped my mind here. But obviously, with Hazops on the other side, Medivh is a factor. So Medivh gets banned out as well. And with him taken out, we have another chance of just seeing a bit more of a traditional setup now with a second damage dealer and an offlaner on the side of Washed Up. Masquerade, what are we going to get from him? I mean, earlier he played damage. Could do that again. Normally we've seen him in the main tank position, but that's something that Nick has taken over. They're banning out Jaina, first of all. I mean, you have on the other side Ana, so that nano-boosted mage is something that you try and avoid as much as you can. Alarak is already banned out. That would be another good recipient for the ult. Then Jaina taken away too. We've seen actually cast a little bit more NA these days, and what we see a lot on the North American side is actually Eye of Horus being taken over and over again. But here we have Thrall taken by Farlander, and we have Shamzik now with Reyna. Banabir without a pick just yet, but the last 2 picks now coming in for Washed Up. The team in blue in this best of 3 series is rounding out their draft, and especially the offlane is going to be of interest. Is it going to be another Leoric play here? But then again, Chris doesn't currently play on the offlane. At least it seems like he's going to be on Liming with his Pepiga account. But there's the Imperius setup and Sylvanas together with that. So a lot of stuns here. I mean, that lunge, if that connects together with Verdant Stormbolt and Tyrande stun, that's pretty much a guaranteed kill right there. Hazops, for now at least, on Sylvanas. But again, there is a swap round happening too. That could still change things slightly. And there's Tyrael. Last but not least, so once again, ETC on the offlane. And Thrall can now be in the 4-man, which means that we're going to see Crash Lightning for him. Game number 1, ladies. Washed Up 2.0, aka another Washed Up. Going up against Team Russia. Battlefield of Eternity is our first map. And over to the left side, Tyrande, played by Banana H, Hazops on Rexa, Nick on Muradin, Chris with his Pepiga account on Liming, and Masquerade on Sylvanas. Towards the right side of the map, Stalk on Tyrael, we have Kolya on Reyna, again on the damage, Barnaby on ETC, Farlander on Thrall, and Shamzik on Ana in this game. Alright, we are ready to rock and roll. And yeah, I'm pretty hyped for this one. Also, quick shout out to everybody who's actually watching this on YouTube. And with this also the announcement that YouTube actually unlocked the membership function for my channel, which I'm pretty happy about. So if people that are not having any access to the Twitch streams on YouTube want to support the channel and the coverage here, they can do that now as well by clicking that join button next to the subscribe button, which is actually pretty sick. So yeah, that's a pretty new thing for the channel, and we'll see how that goes. How the game goes so far is a little bit of aggression early on, so the action is already starting to kick in. As we have Team Russia and Washed Up looking for that first kill. Nobody's finding it just now. By the way, the level 1 on Sylvanas with the Might of the Banshee Queen here. We're having also, at the same time, now down to the bottom of the map, Hazops on his Rexa. As we already talked about a little bit earlier, so that Rexa setup. So, no Imperius here, as I'm just realizing. I talked a little bit about how Hazops has been playing on the offlane with Rexa a lot, but in this case we are actually seeing Rexa taking over Imperius here. And I mean, it's not really too much of a game change. Well, a little bit. I mean, I've been talking about the stuns a little bit earlier when we have an Imperius in the setup together with Muradin and Tyrande. And to an extent, that's even true with Rexa, because thanks to Misha, you can provide an additional stun and control the CC chain a little bit longer. And in addition to that, with level 10s, you have the boars coming in too. So there's definitely quite a bit that you can synergize with that lineup. Imperius himself would have been cool here, but as we saw towards the end of the draft, they dropped the lobby there again, and that just occasionally happens. We had it in the previous series as well. If someone mispicked, something happens, they usually communicate directly during the lobby, but as an observer, you are not privy to that chat, so you don't really have any influence on this. But as I say that, we're also having to look at the top lane again a little bit more closely, because as pointed out earlier, if you have a Thrall in a setup where you have 3 melee characters, you can go into Trash Lightning. And this is something that we're actually seeing Washed Up play around right now. They are splitting really well. Every single time that Thrall walks forward, they're simply splitting and making it so that Thrall has a very tough time to get any early stacks on his Crash Lightning. And at this point, we're having only 2 for Farlander here. So he's obviously trying to get a little bit more out of this one, but it's a bit rough for him. And the more you can slow down that progress, the better for them. The Frostwolf Pact also taken. And with the Frostwolf Pact coming in, you have now the first stack, obviously, for the cooldown reduction, also for the mana reduction that you have there as well. And it synergizes really well with your level 16, where you're obviously going to try and go for the Alpha Wolf, unless you want to spec heavily into the Thunderstorm here. And Nick has been roaming the map and just looking for Stormbolts the entire time. I mean, he's been just all over the place, trying to hammer one Stormbolt after another, and already going for Ana. Tries to hammer Ana, but instead of hammering Ana, he hammers Tyrael, because Ana was already blocked by Tyrael. So Nick, again, getting those stacks in, sitting currently at 6. And having them play aggressively around that Immortal. Thrall is still sitting at the bot lane, can't do too much here, but that's an easy halftime show. That's an easy peasy one right there. Jumping in, taking that particular setup, and now Thrall is joining the fun here. This is really the time of the game, by the way, where Thrall wants to sit in the middle. This is the time where you have the best chance as Thrall, especially with Rexa and Nisha around, to get your stacks together. So yeah, he's getting a few more, sitting on 4. Definitely not enough just yet, but game was obviously just started. Nick is just all over the place this game. Jumping to the left, jumping to the right, trying to invade here, trying to invade there, aggressively dropping those storm balls all over the place. And obviously it has come down to the point where it is a race between the two teams here. And this one is easily taken by the blue team. Washed up 2.0, now also with the globes in the middle. HeroesHype needs that mana. Tries to get some extra damage in. But they're starting to make the rotation towards the top side, where they attempt to push with that Immortal and take down, well, the wall. Ideally the fort, if they can. Normally you won't be able to get that much damage in. But let's see. Rexa is already sitting at the bottom of the map again. Currently pulling his punches there. There we have it. The attack again, and things are starting to look pretty good for Washed Up here. Again, there was not too much pressure against the Immortal early on. In comes Nick again with another Stormbolt and the follow-up from Tyrande. And they're starting to get solid damage on the fort itself. That should be a kill as well. Stork is just barely getting out of there. I mean, he's super low, gets healed again. Nick wants another Stormbolt and doesn't find that, but they get the fort easy peasy. And it's a fantastic push. For the first objective, this is just a great push that they're executing here. There's not a single kill in this game, by the way. Not a single kill. We still have the festering wounds at the same time on level 7 right now, despite the fact that there's no unfurling shadows. And also, on top of that, we're now having another fort eliminated. They just dropped 2 forts. First objective, not a single kill needed. Just winning the objective, aggressively pushing, threatening kills against Team Russia the entire time, and now they are heavily ahead. They've taken a huge lead. I mean, again, this is not only about them taking down 2 forts and therefore getting a solid lead in passive experience. This is honestly important because now there is no real fallback option anymore for Team Russia outside of them tapping the fountain in the middle here. So this is a huge play. You open the map up, you still can rely on your own fountain at fallback points on every lane with those forts, and your opponent is just eating damage wherever and can't really play around that. Yep, there's a wolf missing. That means Farlander's now reset on his level 4 quest back to 0. That's only 8 stacks, by the way. And those Stormbolts keep coming, and they go for Farlander and they get the kill. And they want to have another one. And Kolya shouldn't be able to move away from this. He gets the penetrating round through, but if the Stormbolt connects, and it does, there's pretty much no chance of him surviving this. No, he goes down. There's nothing they can do. Another attempt at the stun, but this time it didn't work out. But we have now 2 kills against 0. They are more than a level ahead. And as we saw in the previous game, Washed Up 2.0 is just absolutely murdering people. They are crazy at this point. Looking strong here. Misha is starting to move in straight at the front there. And just like, yeah, dips his nose in a little bit. So it's like, nah, what's going on over here? Here come the level 10s. With that, we should still get the Unleash the Boars, unless HeroesHype is, yeah, there we have it. Boars come in. No Misha focus. Feels bad, man. At least a little bit. And here's obviously the quick race against the Immortal itself. And with level 10 abilities in their hands, this should be 100%er. This should honestly be 100% for them. And they're invading the camp now as well. Oh, that's going to be annoying. Misha sitting at the side. And yep, there they come. A little bit of an Ocean's 11 heist right there. Moving in. Okay, it wasn't really that sophisticated, but still the result is pretty similar. They get the kill, well, the steal, and they also get the halftime show here. An easy one at that. From the Russians' perspective, this is insanely annoying. I mean, they're called the comeback team for a reason, but at the same time, if you're that far behind, good luck coming back from that. Then again, as I said, I'm thinking, well, I said that a few times already in my life, like, how will they ever come back from this position? And they kind of always manage to do it. but right now it seems like it is a pretty crazy task. Now, again, Thrall obviously is going to increase his damage as he continues to stack his level 1. That is undoubtedly going to be a factor here. But right now he's only sitting at 11, and it means that his damage currently equates to 8,800. And while that isn't bad, it's definitely nothing that is currently life-threatening for Washed Up. And that Immortal has 100% shield, and this is just insane. So you could definitely go for keep here. You should go for keep at this point. And it's a very, very dangerous situation for Team Russia. If you lose the keep this early in the game after you just lost the double fort, you're in trouble. You try and go for Banana H, you try and go for Masquerade here. Ults have been used, at least a few of them. And Stalk, a bit low, has to retreat. And we actually see the Eye of Horus. The level 10 abilities are there for both, but that Stormbolt connects, and that's it. Oh, the damage on the triple. Sanctification used. Misha goes down. An unbearable situation for any animal lover. But at the same time, it seems like Misha is going to be avenged here, because Sylvanas is obviously trying to get that push to even more value, and they drop their keep. And I don't know, but that, if they get a kill here, this could be a little bit more than only a keep, to be honest with you. And they get that kill. They get it quickly. There's an attempt to at least get something done by ETC, but Nick drops the avatar. Quest completed for Thrall, but I can tell you one thing, that core is going to take damage, and that core might fall. And if we see Tyrael die and DT does, and the Stormbolt quest is also completed, that might even be the end of the game. But Masquerade is about to fall. Yes, and he goes down. Masquerade down, already pings Banana H, like, dude, where's my heal? There's the kill against Thrall. Core is down to 35%, and they're going to finish it right here. This is going to be game 1. Game 1 is over. Washed Up with a quick kill and win against Team Russia in game number 1 of the best of 3 series. Game number 2, everybody. We are on Dragonshire, HeroesHype Premier Series. We have Team Russia going up against Washed Up. Yeah, it's time to shine here. The Russians were pretty much on the receiving end of a big beating that they had in game number 1. So Washed Up is obviously looking for that quick 2-0 win here. But if the Russians can pull something off and turn this around, that would be pretty impressive. And I wouldn't mind a third map either. Neither would you guys, I would assume. So let's see how this is gonna turn out. For now, it's first pick, first ban on the side of Team Russia, so the map pick was actually in the hands of Washed Up 2.0. There's already the ban against Rexa, not happening again. Just figured out that Hazu can also play that hero, so let's get right away that out of the equation. And actually, they switched roles too. I mean, Chris, for example, with his Pepiga account here, he played Leoric in the first series twice in a row and was set on the offlane. But in the last game, he was the one only Ming. So it seems like it's really going to be a hero, more a hero question. Like, which kind of hero do they play? Who really wants to go into the comfort zone here? But with the ban against Tracer, I would still expect that we're going to have, I mean, on the map here, again, you can still ban out heroes like even Dehaka, for example. I don't really think that's going to happen. We have Ana around. We have a Nubarak that oftentimes gets banned here. Hanzo, always either an early pick or a ban. Another good example of that. But yeah, with this set, not a single focus onto a frontliner right now. So a noob is up. And that would be something that I could certainly see Stark and his boys take early on. Question is, do you try and deny that to them? You try and take a Nubarak away from the aggression that we usually see from the Russian team here. So, there's the Ana van. Ana's really in a weird spot. I mean, after the last patch dropped, we had this interesting setup where for a while she wasn't really regarded a whole lot because the healing numbers dropped a little bit on her, but now she's pretty much back in an early pick or ban slot. Tyrande is an immediate follow-up here on the side of Kolya. And actually, in this case, it now seems like the Russians are moving back to their old roles. Again, there is obviously still a swap round coming, so they could swap Kolya back onto a damage dealer and the support onto Shamzik. But right now, it feels a little bit like they're saying, hey guys, this was not really a good game last time. We got pretty much spanked. And if you want to make sure that we avoid another beating, we should probably go into our old roles here and play around that. And Nick is actually the one who locks in the Nubarak right away, together with Malfurion, which is traditionally actually a setup that we are seeing from Team Russia. That Nubarak and Malfurion double pick is something that they've been playing for a long time. But there's Li Ming for Farlander, there's Johanna now for Stork, so they are definitely serious about this one. They know that they have to try and push this forward. We are in the semifinals. I mean, this is literally about, do you get the grand final access or not? Or do you have to play for the third place here? Alright, but it's time for the bans now. Could ban the top lane. Obviously, Washed Up 2.0 has the next double pick, so if they want to take a top laner that has a good chance here, they can ban out a counter against it, and they ban out ETC first, since this is something that the Russians have been playing a lot now. So no more stage dive shenanigans coming from the team in red. And talking about globals, there's also Forstad banned out. So there's still the Haka open if you really want to play him, but with the Nubarak we traditionally see more so Urel or Blaze. I guess you could also go into Ethereal with this. The problem obviously is that it doesn't lane as well on the solo lane as one of the formerly mentioned. Zeratul, okay, and Jaina. We're gonna see a Void Prison into Ring of Frost setup. Okay, it's Wombo combo time. It is Wombo combo time right there. Sweet. Let's see how they're going to deal with this. Is that going to be a Tyrael offlane? Probably not. Usually you go into a Tyrael, or you can go into a Tyrael as a main tank if you see that combo and try and really just like bait out 2 cooldowns with 1. There's Sylvanas for the silence. If you can screw with Zeratul a little bit, or with Jaina as the Void Prison is on the ground, that gives you some wiggle room to try and disrupt the combo as much as possible. And Blaze obviously not only with the stun but also with the bunker can chip into that particular train of thought as well and help out with that. And now we're having Hazu coming straight in with the last pick here. Last time we saw that it was Hammer time. I doubt that's going to be the case this time, but what are we going to get from him? It's Leo. Leo comes in, so we have again Mr. Swiffer here without the skin though. So going for the pleb skin instead. And yep, this is game number 2. Dragonshire is the map. Washed Up 2.0, aka another Washed Up going up against Team Russia. Game on as we are heading into the second map of the best of 3 series. Washed Up 2.0 going up against Team Russia, and the blue team on the left with Hazops on Jaina, Nick on a Nubarak, Banana H on Malfurion. We have Pepiga, aka Chris, on Zeratul, and Masquerade on Leoric. On the right side of the map, it is the Russian team with Stork on Johanna, Farlander on Li Ming. We're having Banabir on Blaze, Kolya on Sylvanas, and Shamzik is playing Tyrande. So they actually switched it around again. Seems like that's not a meme or anything. It's actually a decision that they made to switch the roles off a little bit. Generally speaking, not really the worst thing to happen. I guess they need a little bit more time to mesh all of that together and get their flow going. But yeah, we're having Kolya back on a Sylvanas play, trying to get the stacks with the Unfurling Shadows on level 1. In addition to that, we're now also seeing the Consume Vitality for Chris, who is on the off lane, I'd say. No, actually, having Chris still on Zeratul. Masquerade is the one who's taking over here. And the Space Lord. If you go for the Space Lord, it has to be the white skin, pretty much. I mean, again, when it comes to Leo, there's a little bit of a dress code. If you go for the Janitor, then it doesn't really apply too much. But if you go for the Ice Giant, there's only the blue one. If you go for Space Lord, white is definitely a good choice here. So yeah, being a Leo connoisseur, I can definitely tell you that there are rules to follow. And especially if you go into the Ice Giant, outside of the money pick, there's maybe the blue carpet that is allowed. You can rock a doubloon if you really want to, but outside of that, the options are limited. The options are definitely limited. But be that as it may, we're having camps now taken from the Russians as they're trying to control the experience to that, but they went for the Siege Giants and their opponent made the play for the actual Bruiser camp. And now the Invade even, as we're having another Siege Giant camp taken. They're trying to steal this one away, and successfully, I might add. So 2 Siege Giants for that Bruiser camp at the top, and I like that. I honestly like that a lot, what we're seeing here, because this is a pretty cool rotation they just made. If they only get their own siege camp but don't get anything else, then the push at the top lane is going to be so powerful that it's difficult to handle. But with double siege camps at the bottom, there is definitely now the need to spend some resources there from the perspective of Washed Up to deal with it. Still the aggression here in the middle, as we have a double control on those shrines on Dragonshire here, and Team Russia needs to be careful that there is no super early Dragonite for the opponent. But with level 4 abilities now on both sides, not really a big threat just yet. But as the rotation keeps coming, they are starting to put the pressure on. Down to the bottom of the map on the other hand, Khaldor is already sitting there and is jumping out as Zeratul is saying like, you know what, I really want this thing back. And Chris is gonna get it. And with the damage that Sylvanas just received, that means there's even more pressure in the middle. Farlander's trying to move in again, trying to also take that down. Already having in the mid lane, still our little battle with Harzobs moving in from the side. There's the stun, and yeah, there's another stun, and the wave goes down, then you are in a world of pain for sure. Farlander down here, still with the retake. Zeratul made the rotation into the middle and was hoping to help out with a kill. Didn't quite work out for them. But up to the top lane, we're having still Masquerade going up against Barnaby, and that push earlier really helped to open up the wall. And that could actually translate into a fountain being destroyed, and if that's the case, then you are in a great spot here. Yep, there's another attack, by the way, against Masquerade. Khaldor's trying to take over here. Channel is not currently happening in the middle. So, despite the fact that we have constant pressure from Washed Up, they haven't been able to take a Dragonite yet. There's 10 stacks on Sylvanas. That's definitely something that you can improve on. I'm still expecting Festering Wounds to be taken on level 7. There's a nice double stun here by Tyrande. And level 7 is already coming in. This time a bit quicker for Washed Up, but let's see. We're having also Wormhole taken. Nature's Cure, obviously, and the Chitinous plating after the shed exoskeleton, so more of a focus straight into the carapace. And again, the attack down at the bottom as they're trying to go for Chris. Both of those are soon going to be taken again by Washed Up if a rotation to the bot lane now happens. That's exactly what they added, because Leo has already retaken topside. Festering Wounds has indeed been claimed, and now they're trying to make a pretty risky play for that particular camp. If that is sniffed out, and I mean luckily for them it isn't, because if that would have been sniffed out as we had everybody down at the bottom of the map, that could have been an absolute disaster. So they're starting to jump in again. We're already having in the mid lane still the control here over it, but at the bottom of the map the 3 heroes retook that shrine, so that Chris can't really do too much there, at least for the time being. The Willing Vessel, and at the top, the near kill against Barnaby, and he still goes down. Nice. Good rotation with a nice kill, and that gives them, of course, a little bit of a head start here with the early first blood. This is a perfect opportunity for them to also take the fountain down, which will make Masquerade's job onto the lane so much easier if they can pull that off. But there is a camp taken at the bottom of the map, so they have to react to that as well and rotate back down. But if that fountain falls, it's fantastic for Leo, because it means he has even more control over the lane that he already had previously. And he's currently trying to do exactly that, and the shields are already falling, there's damage on it. Masquerade still has to deal with Khaldor on the other hand. There's a bit of a battle happening down at the bottom of the map regardless. But there's the stacks, and they keep coming. Masquerade is getting damaged pretty severely, and he needs to be super careful. I mean, again, that stun comes in too late to really deliver a kill. But that's also additional stacks coming through for Sylvanas, who's currently sitting on 22. Nothing too insane just yet. Barnaby, or Banana Age, sorry, with a dodge, able to get out there, and still looking for that kill. Both of them rotating around pretty nicely. Every single time that a team takes one of the shrines, they usually move to the other side of the map and take it, and take the equivalent. But now we have the combo up. And this is really where a lot of these Zeratul combs really start to pop off, once that you have the combo potential available for yourself. And with Zeratul already at the bottom of the map trying to zone out Farlander, this means that we're going to have a Dragonite very likely. There's a second channel coming in, but Blaze topside, nice. There, it goes straight in. Masquerade is obviously going to try and just lock him down and drain him with another quick one. But for the time being, 10 versus 10, and that gives us the disintegrate against the Cocoon. And also, as I said before, that silence outside of the stuns alone is absolutely crucial if you're trying to interrupt the combo. Just picture Zeratul with the Void Prison, Jaina trying to time the Ring of Frost, and then either Jaina gets silenced or Zeratul gets silenced so that he can't release the Void Prison. And all of a sudden you look at a potential trade of 1 cooldown against 2. So that is really something where you have to be a bit cautious when you drop that VP. In an ideal world, you would try and get most of the stun heroes, and also in addition to that Sylvanas, but obviously we're having quite a few heroes that can really interrupt any of these plays. So coordination might always seem a little bit simple, but if your opponent really knows what they're doing, and in this case they do, and pays attention, they have chances to interrupt that setup. It comes all down to when can you actually land that. Right now we're having 33 stacks for Sylvanas. We still see a very, very cautious game here on both sides. But the pressure in the middle is real. Stalk is nearly down. The ring is not hitting, but it was more so designed to keep him in a little bit longer. But they can't get the kill. They might be able to get the Dragonite though. And indeed they do. And with this, we're having now another quick move straight into the mid lane. Trying to position themselves at the sides. Only one of the turrets is actually attacking. And again, you don't want to YOLO that Dragonite in too hard. That's actually pretty important. Nice Iron Skin there also, blocking the punt. The Dragon... Joanna was always a fantastic punt blocker. It's one of the reasons why they always wanted to have her in a team here. I mean, the NFL trials went really well for her. One of the few women that actually made it into the men's league there. So, pretty impressive performance by her. Gotta call that out. I mean, you gotta call it out when you see it. So, for now, still playing around the timer here. And again, this is a mistake that a lot of players on a lower level make. They get a Dragonite and like, oh my god, we need to kill everything. And they start running into double turrets and get taken down within seconds. But in this case, despite the fact that we're only 8 minutes in, Hazu plays with the timer on the duration, has another 10 seconds, which means that there's another breath available for him. And he gets solid damage in. I mean, just look at the walls here. They pretty much get both of these turrets. They have also taken good damage in the middle. And yeah, solid setup for them right now. 54 stacks, by the way, for the Unfurling Shadows. So Kolya is definitely getting there, slowly and steadily. We have again the setup with level 13 Mending Strikes. But since Chris is this time not playing Leo, that's not going to be that auto attack build with the Mithril Maze. Instead, we're having Masquerade going for the traditional Ominous Wrath on level 13, which will be followed by the Royal Focus. Scout at the bottom of the map is happening, and it's a bit too late to invade the camp. But they still get the defense here. It's a kill against 0 so far in the game, and we are nearly 10 minutes in, and we've only seen a single kill. That might change now. Again, we're having Kolya moving in, trying to get the stacks together. Gets a few more against Nick there, for sure, sitting at 59 now. And as the damage starts tickling in, Sylvanas is doing pretty well. 14,000 damage. Li Ming is actually only at 6,800, which already tells you quite a bit. Farlander having a huge problem getting the damage numbers out. Instead, it's Blaze with the top damage in the game, mostly because of that one-on-one setup that he has constantly with Leo at the top lane. Those were the two that were really fighting from the beginning of the game up to now. But outside of that, we had a lot of just rotations around opponents that were trying to go for shrines in this game. So Chris, again on Zeratul, is currently looking for that VP setup. I mean, he didn't really have a complete combo yet. Now, Siege Giants attacked again, but yeah, in this case they were already obviously taken. It was a defensive move more so than an aggressive one. Top lane, Leo attempting to push the fort once more. And down here, the towers, as I said before, are starting to get attacked. Nick wants to get the extra HP. And at the top, again, the aggression here. And right now, if you are Blaze, you need to be careful, because they are starting to lose vision on the rest of the team, and there's already the flank happening. And yep, there's another beetle getting spawned as the stun comes through. They're trying to get this one. Leo again with the Royal Focus moving out. The stance, Stalk, they want the kill and they're gonna get it. Yeah, they get a kill against Leo. Trade value activated right there. Shouldn't really get them too much, but that fort is nearly down. And keep in mind that we're actually seeing Chris the entire time at the bot lane pushing the lanes out, which means that this is experience lost to the red team. Especially if Chris interrupts the rotation, which in this case he doesn't. Would have been a little bit suicidal. So there's some experience lost, but not too much. Kolya with an immediate possession as well. Trying to get some additional pressure by himself. Masquerade topside is now also going to try and finish that fort off, especially since they have level 16 in just a few moments. And there it is. 16 is in, and that gives us the Void Slash, Epicenter as well, and the Royal Focus. Alright. That is a fort at the top that is going to go down now. And we're ready to rumble. 16, and that's normally when the aggression happens. That's when they're going to try and make their play. But currently, we're having also 16 talents just around the corner for the Russians. The problem is that they are starting to lose out on another Dragonite. That's too late. That is too late, Stock. Dragonite gets taken, and that's a freebie. The level 16 talent made it possible. Washed Up. We currently have a kill for a kill, but Washed Up has the second Dragonite. And after they just took the fort at the top lane, they're now moving straight into the middle to drop the second outer structure. Easily there. Shouldn't really be a problem, especially since we have a bit of a fight happening here. The laser show comes in and Leo goes down. Masquerade is taken apart, but so is the fort. And already the Dragonite rotating down to the bottom of the map as they're trying to go for the triple. Taking every single fort out. The outer defense is completely gone. And if you just look at the mini-map, there's obviously, structurally speaking, a massive advantage right now for Washed Up. Will of the Forsaken for Sylvanas, playing that a bit safer here. Few additional stacks coming in for Sylv as she's getting the stacks against the Dragonite. At the top lane, on the other hand, the attack against Barnabia, but he gets out even before the Entomb drops. Now, he still had the bunker up, so it's questionable if the Entomb, if it would have been successful, could have led to a kill. But either way, he survives. 16 on both sides now. And again, the rotation into the middle. Yep, there's the VP. Do we see the ring? I don't think he's close enough for it, though. And nope, ain't happening. No ring at this. I mean, the Dragonite there would have had to cancel that, and I think he was caught too. So no ring for now. But they have at least the fight that they forced here. Oh, Shamzik! Oh, and he survives. The reset instead. Ring of Frost claims a victim as Blaze dies. Farlander's trying to get a kill, but there's the Cocoon. Gets immediately burned into the ground. That was perfect. Farlander immediately reacting, and Kolya could even use the wave. But Stalk still falls on Johanna, and that's a 2-for-1 trade now in favor of Washed Up 2.0. They go for Farlander, but he teleports away. More damage, more aggression, more kills from Washed Up as they take massive control in this game. Level ahead by now. 3 kills against 3, 78 stacks for Sylvanas. She's gaining some momentum here, but so does Nico, is currently two globes away from getting his quest on level 1 completed, and he just picked up another one, which means that right now he is going to get 500 additional hit points. So the Beetle is even stronger than before. Can't kill that cockroach, at least not easily. At this point, top side, we're currently having... well, Kolya pushing the lane out. Kolya himself, actually, with Sylvanas, is currently sitting at 22,000 damage. Still on the same damage numbers, just roughly speaking, as Blaze. 30,000, then again, from Jaina. 22,000, 27,000 from Masquerade on Leo. That's a solid game that we're seeing from Washed Up. And Team Russia, I mean, again, they're on the defensive. They're fighting back here. They're making some really good moves. And when it comes to the kills, they're pretty even. The problem for them is really objective control. This is where they fell behind quickly. They had massive issues on the objective. They definitely struggled with it. They weren't really in a spot where they could do a whole lot with that. And especially that second Dragonite that was claimed by Washed Up, I think could have been prevented, but they were a bit slow on the rotation. They had to play it safe on the other hand too. So again, you don't want to move too far, then you don't have vision. Trying to go for Masquerade again. Nice. And that's a kill. That's a kill. Nice. Just before level 20 is ready. But the problem is that at the bottom of the map, this is where the shit really hits the fan, and that means the wall. So right now, they're taking the entire outer structures out. They're trying to put damage onto the keep already. And with level 20 now, they might have a chance to get a bit more, aka another objective. I don't really think it's going to go that far, but that keep is definitely extremely low. So if there's a Dragonite for Washed Up, the keep is a freebie. And then you might go for core. I mean, if you get a kill, for example, that's all that you need there. So with that, we're having, again, the pressure against the mid lane. Stark is in a world of pain here. He needs assistance. He needs healing. He might not be Genji, but he still needs healing. I can tell you that much. And there's a batter down at the bottom as we're seeing Chris defending the spot against Vanabia, trying to fight back on it. But the rotation is in, and there's the silence, and that could be a kill. But nope, Malfurion reacting, and even the owl doesn't change that. Eviga, aka Chris, still alive on Zeratul. Sylvanas, on the other hand, eats a bit more damage. In comes Stalk again, but they are already suffering here. And they definitely do. Stork is just luring us. It's like, can I do something here? It's like, boys, I'm out of there. I'm out of there. I'm moving away here. Yeah, so he goes back out. Stork, gets caught here. Iron Skin already used. Can they kill him? I don't think so. Oh, no. With Anubarak, they actually might. And there we have it. Indestructible already procced. Stork needs to get the hell out of there. Vanapia, the Ring of Frost slows him down. And that's going to be the end of Blaze. Blaze goes down in a blaze of glory. And down at the bottom of the map, already a little bit of a B-step happening. Stork is still escaping. Having Khaldor rotating in 2, and they still set up the defense. The problem is that in the middle of the map, we're already having Hazops, who gets interrupted by the blind owl that gets shot even before he's there. But there's nobody who can stop that Dragon Knight. There is absolutely no one. They can delay it, but they can't take it down. And now they're moving straight down to the bottom of the map. I mean, obviously, they want to go for the core here if they can. Another 30 seconds until Blaze is back to business. And they're attempting to get another kill here, but this keep is gonna fall. There's absolutely no question about it. And here comes the Entomb, the Buried Alive. And goodbye, Stork. Can they get the kill? They actually cannot, but they might get the kill against Tyrande. They're going for the slow, they're going for the stun, and the Dragon Knight is already on the job as Shamsik barely survives. Yep, and this is going to be the end of the series. It should be. It has to be. It simply has to be. Team Russia is losing the core as Washed Up goes for another win. Dragonshire is theirs. That's a 2-0 victory for another Washed Up in this best of 3 series at the HeroesHype Premier Series semi-final. GG and well played as Washed Up takes the win. Hey guys, thanks for watching today's video, and I hope that you enjoyed the match and the commentary. The remaining time of the video has been added to protect against spoilers caused by the length of the video itself. But please keep in mind, though, that this does not only mean more work for me, but also has a negative impact on the popularity of the videos and the channel because of YouTube's algorithms. It would be greatly appreciated if you'd consider supporting the channel and help me to continue the daily esports coverage by clicking the join button below the video or supporting me through the Patreon page linked in the video description. Thanks a lot for the support and see you guys next time.